This is my second video in the series about the H&H dual chainring upgrade for my Brompton Interceptor. If you have read my book, you know the story of how I built the Interceptor the way it is. This is really an additional upgrade, and it is basically the second version of the Interceptor that's being built. And there are other modifications which are being planned, but this is one of the most important one. There are currently 4 videos planned for this series. I have established a new playlist. The playlist is linked below, so you can explore these videos for yourself. There is also a link to my book and my shop and all of my stuff. And I am providing links to everything that's featured in this video as well. To begin, I would like to go through the equipment that I used to accomplish this. Not all of these equipment are an absolute necessity. At first, I'm going to show you the extras. It's up to you if you want to get them or not. I insist on always using a safety glass. This is the one I have. Notice it's only 11 bucks. I use it for cooking every day. If a piece of jalapeno pepper or just the steam from the onion gets into your eyes, it's really awful. And this one has a little bit of a rubber lining around it, which makes it not airtight, but not too far from that. If you want an airtight goggle for a little bit more money, really not much more money, then I think this is a great choice. This is almost like a diving mask. It's going to completely seal the air around your eyes. Although for this job, I don't think that's necessary. We just don't want a piece of metal, something that breaks off, or a screw or a tiny piece of whatever to damage your eyes. So definitely, I strongly recommend that people work on all projects wearing some sort of a safety goggle or eyewear. Another thing I absolutely love, and I use it all the time, are these Sanihan, not really expensive alcohol wipes. I started buying them at least a decade ago, no more than a decade ago, for travel, because on planes everything is full of germs. I was one of the first one from the US to buy and wear face masks. I bought them in 2012. This one even earlier, so it's really helped cleaning up seats that you sit on a plane on a 25-hour flight to the Far East or whatever. And I started using it for everything. It really came in hand for this project, and I will show you why. Now, one tool set that's absolutely necessary is this. You have to have some kind of a chain tool set. And what you absolutely need to have is you need to have this plier in the set. This is going to allow you to open the chain if you have a quick link. And when you close the chain back, this is absolutely necessary. This one actually came with some quick links in it. If you have a chain that does not have a quick opening lock or link, whatever you want to call it, it's such a big help to have it. If you have one of these links, which I do have on my current chain, you can just within 2 seconds open up the chain for cleaning, adjustment, whatever. Then there is this thing. This is necessary if you are going to shorten the chain. And I suspected that I would need to shorten a chain if I'm coming down from 60 teeth to 54, because that's going to be 10% less than what it used to be. So the chain should also become shorter with the smaller reel. Then this is an extra tool. It's very useful, not absolutely necessary. It snaps into an existing chain and lets you know if the chain has been stretched beyond a reasonable amount. So I tested my chain and I'm happy to report that it has not been stretched. And I'm wondering about the bike shop that always sold me a new chain with installation, which is at least a half an hour of labor, 50 bucks of labor. I mean, all these tools together do not cost more than 50 bucks. I believe I've made the right choice. And then there is a hex key set. I have said this many times. Rather than, if you're interested, the key I used in this case wasn't the number 5. It's a 5mm key to remove the chainring from a Brompton. So you could just buy one hex key, which is what I used to do. But a few months from now, you have another repair or installation or a project, and you need a different key. So instead of spending a whole lot more money and having a disorganized mass, it makes so much more sense just to get the set. This whole set is $7. Get the whole set. The right side is the inches for US measurements, and the left side is the European with the millimeters. And it's a very neat little case. It comes with a case. So these are the tools that I've used. And I'm just going to show you videos that I shot. I apologize for the poor indoor video quality, but this is what I've done. This is the original 60-tooth chainring, which I am removing with the 5mm key, and that's what it looks like. You can see that the chain is already removed. Chain was easy to remove because I have a tensioner in the back, so I just used one of the keys to pull the chain out and it just fell off. And here is the result, and I will show you in great detail as to how I got to this result. But this is the new chainring. This is the 54 tooth on the outside. And you see the previous one damaged the paint on the triangle. The new one doesn't even get close. I get a whole lot more space here. You can see even in here you have a lot of space, a lot more than I used to have, even though the offset is just about the same as it was before. And you can see a little bit of the inner ring, the 33. This is a very small ring, so it's really not in the way. You can see there's plenty of space in there. This is the inner ring, this is the outer ring. Not bad at all. But of course, this H&H upgrade was really professionally designed and carefully tested to fit the Brompton. So there is a reason why H&H products are as expensive as they are. The quality is definitely worth it. So let's go to the pictures. Here is my big 60-tooth racing rim removed, and this is what it looks like. Obviously the tensioner is going to swing all the way as far as it can, and I'll show you what it looked like. After several years of use, it has some really solid grim here, and I used Brillo pad on it, which took off most of it. This stuff came off with quite a bit of work because this has not been cleaned in years, and I think going forward I am going to disassemble the whole drivetrain at the end of each season around December, and I'm going to scrub everything by hand. Once I scrubbed it with Brillo pads, this little thing, this ring that you see here, the Brillo pad could not get to it. So I used the Sunny Hand alcohol wipes that I showed you, and it's so valuable. It takes off even the toughest of oily dirt from your hands. It's actually food safe. So when I ride in summertime and I buy an apple at the farmer's market, I use the Sunny Hands to clean the apple because the alcohol is pure, it evaporates, and the apple is safe to eat. I cannot recommend it enough. And so I scrubbed this part as well, and check out the results, how beautifully clean it is. This 60-tooth chainring is now so clean you could eat off of it. I don't know what it means CNC made. It's some kind of a Chinese thing. I think it costs maybe $60 for the whole chainring, and it fits road bikes. It's just a standard Chainwheel. This was not designed for the Brompton. I just installed it. I'm probably going to sell it off. If anybody's interested, for $40 I will send it over and pick up the shipping and packing charge or whatever. So this is what it looks like. It's been in use, oh heaven, for at least 5 years. It's still going strong. The paint came off here, obviously, because this is the part that's touching the chain. But other than that, it's in excellent condition. Little bit of some marks here. I guess I could scrub a bit more over here. But overall, in very good condition, and it's very clean. These were the holes. There are 5 holes. I'll show you the 5 holes. So there are 4 that have a screw that goes into kind of a knot on the other side, but there's another one behind this arm, and that is a totally different screw. These are the pairs that go into the 4 holes, and this is the other one that kind of screws in from behind. but they all open up with the 5mm hex key. If you want to compare the two chain rings, this is about what they look like. They attach at the same point, but there's a little bit more offset for the new chainring, the H&H. What the offset is just like with cars, the distance between, say, the car rim and where it attaches. So the offset is the distance between this screw where you attach the chain wheel, just like here, and the ultimate, the cogs, the sprocket itself. So with this one, there was no offset at all. It's everything is a flat sheet. These cogs would be touching the triangle slightly, but only when folded. When riding, not at all. So I had no problem riding, there was no rubbing at all. With this one, there is quite a bit of offset, a few millimeters, because there is a little ridge here, and the way it is attached, it's not on the same level. So this is not entirely flat, but it's not a big one. It's maybe 2 or 3 millimeters. And then on the inside, it actually goes closer to the frame, which was a bit unnerving, but this sprocket is so small, it's really not in the way and not touching anything. And of course, there is a mud guard, which was so important. With this one, I really prefer to ride in shorts because the oily chain is going to touch your pants. Unless you tie up your pants or roll them up or do something. When you have a mud guard built into the chain wheel, it's not a problem at all. So it's really a welcome upgrade. Not necessary, but I definitely like to have it. Interestingly enough, there's a whole lot more metal here, and yet this whole chain wheel feels slightly lighter than this one. Who knows why? I guess it's more massive. It has these thicker braces connecting the sprocket to everything else. But this one actually felt lighter. Here is a close-up of the H&A. You see that there's a bit of an offset here. And here are some more pictures I have taken. It's a really nice chain wheel, and I'll show you what it looks like. This is what it looked like. This is with the original chain length, what I had before. This is on the outer sprocket at the 54. And here is what it looks like close up. And let me show you what it looks like with the chain on the 33 tooth sprocket. You can see a little bit of a lax in the chain here, even though there is tensioning. So I definitely needed to take some of the chain out, and I ended up taking 2 pieces out of it, which I think is the ideal. And then I can totally fold it. It's not a problem. It's not rubbing against anything. And it looks really good. I think it's a really good looking chain wheel. But so far, no shifter. So the question is, if there's no shifter, how am I going to shift? Initially, I am going to use hand shifting. Some people do is when they approach a steep uphill, they get off the bike and they grab the oily chain by hand and they move it over. But I think something that's more elegant is to take the largest hex key you have in your set, and acts like a hook. You can just hook it into the chain, move it, and your hands are not going to get dirty. And you can wrap this into some tissue or wipe it clean or whatever. You don't need to mess up your hands. This is a good shot to see the distance between the frame and the triangle on the one hand and the H&H dual chainring. Even the interior chainring is really not a problem. However, when you fold the bike, you have to move the chain over to the big chain wheel. If you left it here, it would rub, and you definitely don't want that. So the next video in the series is going to be about me actually going out there on the road and trying out the new drivetrain. I'm very excited to do that. You see how the old chainring reached out this far, and during the fold it would scratch up the triangle a little bit. There is no rust, it's just the paint came off. I'm probably going to put some black tape here. Nobody's going to notice that there is a chip in the paint. And the new one looks better, there is more space. It's perfectly designed. I'm really, really curious as to how much I'm even going to be using the inner chainring. Obviously, it's not going to be a routine use because it's going to be moving like crazy. And I'm probably going to only use it occasionally when tackling a steep uphill. That's why a lot of people just carry some tool and manually shift over. But I think in the fourth video, I'm going to install a professional shifter as well, just so the installation is going to be perfect and I will have full control over this front shifter mechanism. I also am going to measure the gear inches, and I will give you precise measurements in the upcoming videos. So stay tuned. Make sure to subscribe, share, and continue to follow the channel, and especially this series, and I'll be back soon enough.
I'll be back.